Hello, everyone, and welcome to our very first webinar by Ambience Communications. We are so happy that you could join us today. Thank you so much for giving us your time. My name is Faith, and I will be your host for today. So I'd like to apologize about my lack of camera, but I hope you enjoyed the session and that it's engaging regardless. So today we're going to be talking about navigating digital transformation and embracing technology in traditional industries. This, I think, we believe is very important because of modernization, the use of technology, and so on. I will be joined in a moment by our IT expert, Haron Otieno. But before we do that, let us dive in into who we are as Ambience and why we believe this is important. So, Ambience Communications is an IT solutions provider. So, we're dedicated to transforming businesses with innovative and reliable technology. We do believe in the digital age and every industry and every company coming into the digital age just to stay competitive. And that's why that is our mission, to bridge the gap between cutting edge technology and real world industry challenges. We help organizations harness the power of IT to drive efficiency, enhance collaboration, and achieve strategic goals. And that's what sets us apart as well. We provide end to end IT solutions, like a comprehensive system where you don't need to outsource again and again just to get something that you need. We also believe in dealing with every specific industry problem. All companies are different, none of them are the same, and therefore they all have specific challenges that they deal with, and that is our client-centric approach, as well as we aim to stay innovative and driven. Therefore, whatever new technology comes up or whatever new way there is to deal with a problem, that's what we're all about. Now, onto digital transformation. So we believe that, as the quote says, digital transformation isn't about technology, but it's about staying relevant. And that is why we're having this webinar. And what is digital transformation for those that may not know? It's just not about technology, but it requires a cultural and operational and leadership shift to foster innovation and agility. So, digital transformation is the use of technology in your day-to-day operations to make work easier, to solve problems, and it's needed to be understood that the aim of digital transformation isn't to replace people, as some may think. No, it's to empower an organization as well as empower its employees. And that's now why we say it enhances operational efficiency. It also helps companies make better choices by offering data, so that they're well informed before they make a choice. And it also helps reimagine customer experiences. And how does it do that? But before I get into that, let me first of all explain why it matters for traditional industries. Digital transformation is no longer an option, but it's a necessity for staying relevant and, most of all, for staying competitive. Many traditional industries are under pressure to modernize due to the changing needs, and it can be a very daunting task. But that's why we have our professional on board who will talk to us more about it. And apart from staying competitive, it can offer efficiency gains into, and like we said, enhanced operations as well as customer experiences. So, as modernization continues to take shape in today's digital age, customer experiences are also shifting. For example, personalization is such a big part of customer service today, that customers are more likely to buy from a company that they feel tailors their experiences to them. And I think a great example of this is social media and being able to create an algorithm that best suits you. As well, another factor is real time access. Customers expect brands to respond to inquiries faster. Um, for those who might be listening to this and are a bit older, they remember how, for Safaricom, during Bob Collymore time, the customer service was exceptional. And now, as much as people are shifting for different reasons, customer service is one of the reasons people would prefer to shift to another provider. It's also important to mention the omni-channel engagement, that consumers expect consistent interactions across all touch points, be it social media, email, calling, and so on, as well as transparency. And yes, consumers are willing to pay more for a product that offers complete transparency and one that they can trust. Now, before we dive in to the key drivers of digital transformation, I would like to introduce our speaker for today, Harun Otieno. Harun, thank you so much for joining us and for being a specialist today. Before we dive in, what would you say are your opinions on digital transformation?
Digital transformation, as the name suggests, is basically moving away from the legacy systems. It's the integration of digital technologies into key areas of the business, fundamentally changing how we operate and deliver value to customers. We have key main points that is touching on moving from the traditional to digital first business models.
Yes.
We are leveraging technology for operational efficiency. We are looking at enhancing customer experiences and engagement. We
Mhm.
are fostering innovation through data and digital tools.
Yeah.
Uh, now, I look at how to achieve this. We need to build a robust digital transformation strategy. And
Yes.
one of the key areas to look at in building a robust digital transformation strategy is you define clear goals and outcomes.
Mhm.
That's the first point. You need to assess current capabilities and identify gaps. You need to choose the right technologies and tools for your business. You need to involve leadership and create a culture of innovation. You also need to measure success and iterate on the strategy. Did I make it clear on that point?
Yes. Yes, you
Oh,
did.
okay.
Thank you. Now, on to the key drivers of digital transformation. And so far, the technological advancements have included cloud computing, IoT, AI, and machine learning, and cybersecurity and data protection. So before we dive too deep into them, for those that may not know, let me just define them a bit. Or how actually I'll let Haran take us through it. So Haran, are you okay just giving us a small description of them before we now dive into detail and what they offer?
Okay, I look at the first item, the cloud computing. Cloud computing is basically the delivery of computing services or other
Yes.
resources like servers, storage, databases, networking, software, and analytics over the internet, as opposed to local servers or personal devices. I think that sums it up. You it takes away the responsibility of the customer, or rather the enterprise user, the headache of having to stock servers. You leave this responsibility to the cloud service provider.
Mm.
And to the IoT as a concept is a network of physical objects that there is a network of physical objects, sensors, embedded with software that act to exchange data and act on the data for quick decision making. And this happens over the internet. I look at AI and machine learning. AI is basically the concept of machines being able to perform tasks that would normally require human intelligence. So when you look at machine learning, basically the use of um, uh, algorithms, AI algorithms, and statistical models that allow computers to learn from data and improve their performance over time without being um, uh, uh, basically it's a concept where we rely on data models, whether trained or data learned by the systems themselves to act on information for better decision making.
Ah,
Yes,
okay. So that's why they know more about us the more that we interact with like ChatGPT, for example.
yes. It's basically learning from existing historical data
Okay.
to enhance decision making, to act on maybe successful yeah, data sets, train data sets,
Yeah.
new data sets. So it's a way of simplifying, like it's front loading and also acting on data in real time.
Okay,
Yes.
that is quite smart. And lastly, it's cybersecurity and data protection, um, which is just safeguarding digital assets. Many people are very familiar with it. Okay, great. And so now to dive into cloud computing. I know that especially with post COVID, I think this is something many people became very familiar with and businesses as well, since work had to shift from home, the office to home. And like you said, it is cost efficient, allows us to collaborate. And yes, what more can you tell us about it?
That pardon, that's on cloud computing.
Yes.
Okay. When we talk about cost in regards to cloud computing, uh, cloud computing allows uh, uh, pay based on resource consumption, or pay per use. You only pay for the resource you consume,
Yes.
and on demand uptake of services. So this is one way that is looking at the cost element. Another issue with the cloud computing is that it allows for elasticity, means you can scale up or down on resources based on demand. When you require more resources, you can scale up. When you least require resources, you can scale down. And also, the other aspect of cloud computing is that it allows for resource pooling. Cloud providers use multi-tenant models to pool resources across multiple customers. This optimizes efficiency. Customers share resources, but each user's data and operations are kept secure. That is a good point to note. Also, the other concept is that for cloud computing, it allows for anywhere, anytime access, which means it's a key element in remote work models. That is a case in the current times. Recently, we had the issue of COVID-19 that forced everyone to basically work from home.
Yes.
With the emergence of and the abundance of internet last mile solutions everywhere, we find that cloud computing came in handy because you would basically just from anywhere, you can even tether from your phone. Now we have Starlink satellite that allows for cheap connectivity everywhere, anywhere, cheap fiber internet access. So looking at it, transforming to IT in traditional industries and embracing a digital aspect is a key requirement. Yeah.
Okay, great. Um, And so I think something that you've mentioned that would relate to many people in traditional industries is that it's cost efficient and it's very flexible, so it would easily scale with them, which I think is quite helpful for anybody who's scared to adopt cloud computing. And the next point was Internet of Things and what it offers traditional industries.
Okay. Basically, the concept of Internet of Things is this refers to I don't know whether we defined it earlier or we need to do it again.
It's okay.
Yeah, it's basically a network of physical objects, devices, sensors, and other things that exchange data and act on it over the internet. We have specific use cases. We have industrial use case. We have domestic use case. We have healthcare use case. We have uh, I think those are the key areas: domestic, industrial, healthcare. Anything that I'm leaving out, just
And
prompt
then,
me.
no, no, but when you say domestic, you mean like in the house?
Yeah, you could actually use it in the house for, say, in cases where you need, let me get a perfect example of a domestic use. Okay, I'll come back to that.
Okay, no
But we have,
problem.
yeah, I'll come back to that point. But industrial use, we can use it in areas where we need to do real-time data insights in machine maintenance.
Yes.
Yeah, I think we had a case study on that.
Yes, I believe so. And so that would also, for example, the idea that came to mind was a greenhouse, being able to monitor temperatures, humidity, and such.
Yes, yes, perfect. Yes. So in this case is that it's exchanging information with a central point
Yes.
where it will trigger an action based on the status. The sensors will collect the information, be it humidity, be it temperature, and it will trigger an action based on the parameter in place. If it is hot enough to trigger like irrigating the environment, it will do so. So that is one use case of IoT.
All right. Okay. And now on to the next one is you had touched a bit on it, AI and machine learning. I think many people are familiar with this mainly because of ChatGPT and that is being used more to work and so on. But then I think the applicability of it in traditional industries is where people might have questions about it. And you said that it works on big data, which a lot of traditional industries do have. But yeah, for anybody wondering now, where do you go from there? Like they have all this information, but they want to incorporate AI to be competitive. Yes.
Okay, in incorporating AI is we have the um, I don't know whether to go with the we have real world use cases of AI.
Yes.
Yeah, for example, in the case of autonomous vehicles, where we use AI for decision making, we have machine learning to process data for driving decisions. And I look at, for example, the machine learning. We have the supervised learning model where you will train a labeled data set, meaning that you have labeled inputs and corresponding correct outputs. The goal here is to learn the mapping from inputs to outputs. Example use case in this scenario is in email spam detection,
Yeah.
where the system will learn to classify emails as a spam or not based on the labeled examples. And we have the other model of machine learning where uh, uh, the model is given data without explicit labels. So the system itself finds patterns and develops scenarios and relationships in the data on its own. So in this case, an example use case will be where in the case of customer segmentation, for example, where the system identifies groups of similar customers without predefined categories. I hope that
Yeah.
is clear.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. And lastly is cybersecurity and data protection.
Yes.
Especially with the climate, the political climate that we had seen in Kenya, cybersecurity became such a big problem since I believe this is, if not the year, one of the years that we've had the most data breaches, our information getting out there, just cyber attacks. And I don't think there is any digital transformation without cybersecurity. I believe that it is one of the foundations of digital transformation. So, in your opinion, would it, for anybody who's looking to modernize their processes, would this be a great place to start, or it would just be as important as the rest? What is your opinion on cybersecurity and data protection?
Okay. when we talk about digital transformation, first of all, we are talking about exchanging a lot of information over the public internet. Because looking at cloud computing, for instance, means we will be adopting either the model of using the public cloud infrastructure or our own, because there are two models here. You can either adopt the public cloud infrastructure model, which means we'll be exchanging a lot of information of the over the public infrastructure. Also, there's another model where you have your own private cloud, but it doesn't mean that your data will not be transiting the public infrastructure at some point. So now,
Yeah.
also away from cloud computing itself, when it comes to IoT, IoT also, as I said earlier, involves the exchange of information between devices for decision making over the internet. So this means also your data is transiting the internet. So when we talk about cybersecurity and data protection, we are looking at protecting data at rest and the data in transit. Data at rest is the stored data, and data in transit is this data that is transiting between networks, moving across various platforms. So cybersecurity in this case is the practice of protecting internet connected devices, networks, programs, and data from unauthorized access. Data protection, on the other hand, refers to the practices, policies, and technologies that ensure confidentiality, integrity, and availability of data, especially sensitive data. So we look at key principles of data protection in this case, because if you don't protect the data again, you risk legal suits and many others. Uh, um, so look at the key principles. Hello?
Hello. No, yes, I was agreeing.
Yeah, okay. Now I'm just delving into some of the key principles of data protection. Here we have the data confidentiality that I just mentioned. This ensures that only authorized individuals have access or can view sensitive data. We have integrity. When we talk about data integrity, we mean that data is kept accurate, consistent, and trustworthy. That there is no degradation or misinformation to the consumers. And when we talk about the other key principle here is the availability, the data availability. We ensure that data is accessible and usable when needed. So we have some key best practices for data protection. One being that we need to use factors like strong encryption, where we make sensitive data both at rest and in transit well encrypted. We use role-based access control, where we apply the principle of least privilege for all users. You access data based on the role. We do regular backups and continuously test recovery plans to ensure data availability anytime. We educate employees because this is also a source of data breach. Less educated employees in terms of cybersecurity and data protection is a threat to data leakage. So it's imperative that we educate employees in this respect. So we educate them about the data protection, about cyber threats like phishing, and other best practices around data protection to ensure data security and information protection. Yes.
Okay. And now, before we let you go, we wanted to know your opinion on the future of digital transformation. So this list I've put up just for the audience to have an idea, but in your own professional opinion, how do you think it's going to look like in the future? Yes.
The future outlook of digital transformation, as I would see it, is that there's going to be more uptake of digital transformation, in the sense that we have new emerging technology areas like the 5G, which is going to give more capacity to the internet, and there will be better experience in terms of like device communication, smart contracts and blockchain, the explosion of smart contracts and blockchain, where contracts are going to be executed and basically embedded in code. Smart contract is where an action is performed based on predefined configuration, and this is going to happen solely on the code. Another area is that the future outlook of
Digital transformation.
the future outlook of digital transformation is that as more and more people get connected, and there's easy access of mobile devices, and last mile solution is also like Starlink. This, and like I would say, is it an explosion of uh, last mile connectivity solution in the market.
Yeah.
More and more people will get connected, and this will require that the consumer is demanding more of convenience in terms of reaching out to the service providers.
Okay.
Yes.
Great. Thank you so much for your insights. We're going to have you back on for the Q&A session. But before we get to that, allow me to remove you as I let people know about the benefits of digital transformation. But thank you so much for your time.
Okay. Welcome.
So before we have Haran back on, I thought it would be beneficial just to add on to what he said about the benefits of digital transformation, such as improved efficiency, data driven decisions, enhanced customer loyalty, and revenue growth. As especially for those in either the manufacturing or industrial companies, improved efficiency, I think, is always just a benefit, but this goes throughout the organization, despite the industry being able to do things well and fast and in a reliable way, just, you know, in a sense also to increase output, which would also increase revenue, as well as I had said earlier, being able to customize the experiences to each client. And that is one of the benefits that comes from data driven decision making. Not only can you do that, but also you can be able to tell the inefficiencies in your business and how to improve it and such. Yes. As much as there are good benefits, there's also the challenges to digital transformation. Resistance to change, for example, affects your competitiveness as a company, especially within your industry, considering the shift that happens or that is continuously happening. Legacy systems, as much as they have worked for so long, they are no longer reliable. With the way the world is going, a lot of information is being processed, and legacy systems just cannot keep up anymore. And with the way the world is changing as well, people are looking for a way to do less but achieve more. And I mean, legacy systems can't, they just can't accomplish that. As Haran had mentioned, security concerns, and at least we have learned about the difference between cybersecurity and data protection. But this just goes back again to the legacy systems that it can't offer the same level of security that technology can. And lastly, skills gap, like training employees to use these advanced technologies, which if they take longer to learn them, or rather, if your company, for example, doesn't adopt any technology, they are at a disadvantage in the long term since it will continue advancing and they won't be able to keep up. Yes, and here are some strategies for success. Like we had mentioned, Haran had touched upon it, but I also said it in the beginning that digital transformation also includes leadership. Strong leadership drives vision and cultural shift. And if leadership is not behind it, there is no way for digital transformation to happen within your organization. Employee training, which is offered by a lot of companies such as Ambience, whenever a new technology is adopted into the company, employee training is always a part of it. And also, it just helps them survive longer, even beyond, for example, where they're at now. You're able to train and just grow that specific employee by offering training. Our customer centric approach, which I believe you have touched upon, scalable solutions is very important. Like I had said, legacy systems cannot be relied upon. But the great thing about adopting technology is it does get better with it does grow, or rather, as much as there is innovation, it does grow with your company. And yeah, it just the technology won't be left behind and your company won't lag behind because your your technology can't scale. And lastly, partnering with experts such as ambience, people who are passionate about what they do and they know what they're doing, and they're also up to the times with whatever is going on in the IT world. Uh, it's also very important to mention that the future is digital. Technology isn't going anywhere. Technology is very much here to stay. It is continuously evolving. I've forgotten the name, but the type of shift that has happened in the last 10 or 20 so years where technology has grown so rapidly just is a great way to show that the future is digital. And as such, also, it will become more green, it will become more sustainable over time as we learn it more and continue to use it. Yes. And right now, I'm inviting Harun back onto the platform to just ask him a few questions. And after that, we can close. Um, Harun,
Yes. Okay, I'm
thank
here.
you. Um, so there was some few questions that were there, and I'd like to just start from general digital transformation questions as we go deeper into others. Um, so, in your opinion, how do you measure the success of a digital transformation project within your business if a company is looking to adopt new technology?
Um, you mean how to measure the success of digital transformation?
Yes.
Okay. Mhm. Now, looking at the concept of digital transformation, we will first look at how to um, looking at it in the sense that what are the goals you are trying to achieve? Some of these goals, are you meeting them already, or are you midway meeting them, or are you starting to meet them? So these are some of the parameters you'll use to measure the success or otherwise in terms of digital transformation. Are your customers, are you getting more leads? Are you getting are the customers happier in terms of product delivery, product access, information access? Is it any easier for your own staff or employees to access the organization's resources anywhere, anytime? Is it easy, for example, to collaborate amongst yourselves? So these are some of the yardsticks you use to measure maybe are you in the right track in terms of digitally transforming. Uh, did
Okay.
I? Yes, yes.
Oh, sorry. So the next question is more as an implementer. How do you it can be you as an implementer or just advice as well to leadership in organizations, but how do you handle resistance to change from employees when implementing new technologies?
Uh, First of all, you look at what is causing this resistance. Is it because when people resist something, there must be some cause? Is it because people fear new technologies? Is it because people fear losing jobs?
Mm,
Yeah, so you would really look at it from that viewpoint and try to look at how to remedy the same. If it is about new technologies that people fear using, you'll then roll out training programs. If it's about people losing their jobs, you'll then put it in a way that will show that people will keep their jobs and improve efficiency. And this would in turn also be beneficial to the same employees with this fear factor, in the sense that if processes are improved, revenues will improve. And in the same note, also uh, employee benefits may also go up. We look at it in a positive note.
Okay.
Yes, yes.
So this question is more AI leaning. What role do you think AI will play in the future of customer experience?
Mm, in the place of customer experience, I think customers would find it more easy and better served in the sense that with AI, as more and more things get online, as even the shopping experience get online, uh, people embrace more of e-commerce and all that, digital systems. It will be easy as a consumer to narrow your search. For example, the AI will help you in developing recommendation systems based on your search and based on your historical shopping experience or the historical data. So AI will narrow it down for you in terms of synthesizing the information, uh, front loading the data for you. I think that will be the major breakthrough with AI.
Okay. And let me find it. I'm sorry. Our second last question is about IoT. How should businesses manage the massive amounts of data generated by IoT devices?
How should businesses manage the enormous amounts of data?
Yes.
Um, we have the tools that businesses can deploy to process the data, uh, store, and process, store, and analyze the data. So there are specific tools that businesses will deploy in terms of capturing the data, storing, processing, cleaning, analyzing, and viewing the data in dashboards in a single pane to ease in decision-making process. So these are specifics that it's a case-by-case basis. That this is now where Ambience comes in. When you engage, now you are taken to the specifics, and depending on the amount of data you churn as an industry and a specific use case.
Okay. And lastly, this is more about your opinion. Which technology do you think will have the most significant impact on digital transformation in the near future?
Specific technology.
Yeah,
That's a tough one because most technologies are complementary. They complement each other.
it is
Uh,
quite.
yeah, you wouldn't really say that one specific technology will override all the rest. That's how I look at it. Because when you talk about cloud computing, you need the internet technology. If you talk about IoT, you still need the internet technology. When you talk about AI, you need the internet, interconnection of systems and information sources. We are looking at security, the data security. You cannot secure where there is no infrastructure. So these things are intertwined. So I think we wouldn't really say that one technology will be superior than the rest. They are complementary, and they support each other. As one grows, the other one
That
emerges.
was cool. Okay.
Yes.
That's wonderful. Okay, so thank you everybody who joined us for this session. Haron, again, thank you so much for your time and answering our questions.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
And that marks the end of our webinar. Thank you so much for joining us and for being part of us. Should you have any more questions or should you want to connect with us more, this is how you can get in touch with Ambience Communications. We hope you have a good day or evening, and just thank you again for giving us your time.